Hey, what's up, everybody? Welcome to Vibing with Sleezy, the podcast. This is season 5, episode 1. And yes, I'm back. I've taken a long, extended break since season 4. I usually do a break between each season. This one was a little bit longer than usual, but life gets hectic and life gets crazy. But I have not forgotten about the podcast or the fans. So this is season 5, the world premiere. And I have a very special guest, someone that has been on the show before from past seasons and is a fan favorite. Some call her Horse Girl, some call her Christine. But my guest is none other than Christeen Hernandez. So I want to welcome Christine back to the show. Welcome.
Hello.
How are you doing today?
Oh, just it's a Sunday, so Costco runs and just getting shit ready for the week ahead of us.
I hear you. I hear you. Today's Super Bowl Sunday for the football fans out there. This episode won't be coming out on Super Bowl Sunday. It'll be coming out on the Wednesday after. However, wanted to get this recorded, and today was a perfect time before the big game. Chiefs and 49ers are playing tonight. They've already done this rodeo before, so we'll see if the Chiefs will prevail again. But yeah, so it is an exciting sports weekend. But I'm excited to have Christine on because since she's been on the show last and since I've been on, like I said, life has been crazy. It's been almost, I feel like, 8 months since I've recorded. And I've been, still selling T-shirts and promoting the show. But I was like, it's February 2024. I want to get started. I want to get back in the grind of it. So I'll be pumping out episodes here and there. I'll be having some with guests, some solo like usual, and I'll be doing the same drill like always, pumping out 21 episodes. So look forward to those, and thank you for everybody that's been listening, downloading, and also for your patience on waiting for a new season. So Christine, just because I talk to her all the time and she's kept me in the loop with her life and I've also visited her. She's been through a lot here lately, especially when it comes to weather. So that's the first thing I want to dive into. Christine literally survived a tornado. So we are going to definitely dive into that. So, Christine, you had a tornado hit Hendersonville. I'll kind of let you take it from there.
Yeah, so I wouldn't say literally got hit. My just so you know, my house is fine.
Yeah.
Um, it was I don't know if anyone on here is a weather geek or anything or watches the Weather Channel for fun like I do. But if you do happen to watch the Weather Channel for fun, this took place in December on December 9th. Just was a unseasonably warm here in Tennessee. It does stay warm in the winter, but it was like 70, 75 out. Um, just a very cloudy, weird day, like one of those days that just has a weird vibe to it where something just feels like it's off or something's going to happen. I knew there was a chance of bad weather coming because obviously I watch the Weather Channel and I follow all the National Weather Service stuff. They were predicting, some severe weather, some thunderstorms that could cause a little damage or, a possible tornado, hail, or anything like that. And I worked that Saturday from 8 to 12. And I got home, and my fiance and I, after I work on a Saturday, I come home, I come down with, I roll a joint or two, I smoke, and then we go get Mexican food and margaritas. That's a typical Saturday if I work. Um, but I work. We went and got Mexican food, and it was about like 3 o'clock, and I
Yeah.
was like, yeah, I just want to make sure I get home before it gets stormy because with my one coonhound Summer, she's terrified of thunderstorms, so we have to drug her. Um. So anyway, we eat our food and everything's completely normal. I'm keeping an eye on the weather. It's just rain at this point, and he says he's going to go to Sam's Club. He drops me off at the house. I get our dogs fed. It's about 5. It's about 5 o'clock. So, and we knew the weather was coming in. Well, I knew we were also under a tornado watch. That's very common around here. I mean, to the point where when one pops up on my phone, I'm like, oh, okay, whatever. Just basically keep your eye out for weather. There's ingredients for a tornado, but doesn't mean you're going to have a tornado. something people always misunderstand with watch and warning is a warning means it's coming. A watch means the ingredients are there, but nothing's baked yet.
See, that's a big definition I think people don't understand is the warning and watch. I'm glad you said that because I think people get confused by those two words.
Oh no, they 100% do, and I hear it all the time. Like, oh, we're under a tornado watch. That means something's coming. No, that just means the atmosphere has all those ingredients it needs to bake the perfect storm. That's all it means. So, a tornado watch is also very expandable. I know I'm kind of driving off the surface here, but just, to explain, a tornado watch covers a broad area. So when you look at Middle Tennessee, the whole Middle Tennessee area was under a tornado watch. That's from Clarksville all the way down to like Lawrenceville on the border of Alabama. So that was a watch area, meaning somewhere within there, the ingredients could pop up for a tornado. But anyway, back to what I was saying. So I'm watching the news and I noticed that there was a tornado warning, meaning a tornado radar has indicated a funnel cloud. It's a possible touchdown. Warning means take shelter. It could be a tornado coming to you. But yeah, there was a couple warnings out near Dixon and Clarksville. One of those warnings popped up in Robertson County, which is next door to Sumner. And I called my mother because it was coming, looks like it was coming towards her place in Portland, which is about 25, 30 minutes away from me, depending on the route and speed you take.
Closer to Kentucky North, yeah, for people.
Yeah. So I was, I called her and I was like, hey, are the horses in or out? Because usually when there's bad weather, we will keep our horses out in the event the barn should collapse and they get stuck. At least that they're out, they can run. They're smart. They know what to do. And I wanted to make sure she was in her safe spot. Well, she was freaking out, and trying to clean out her closet area. And she's on the phone like, shit, oh my God, it's coming right towards me. Luckily for her, that storm did go north into Kentucky. So she never got hit. Good. Now, the warning that happened with Sumner County and Davidson County, that came out. And that was a PDS warning, which was a particularly dangerous situation warning, meaning the tornado's on the ground, has been spotted, and is doing damage. Well, I saw that, and that was in Madison, which Madison isn't far from where I live. It's about 15 minutes west of us.
Were you getting visuals, or were you only picking up audio?
So I was just watching the news, I was going between our local news channels 2, 4, and 5. And there was a couple on the T-Dot camera on 65, you saw it coming. And so when I saw that and I noticed that it was coming right towards us, my phone alarm went off with the particular PDS tornado warning saying it was on the ground, get in your safe spot. I had a screenshot of that warning, actually, just to have on hand because it's a memory at this point. But I saw that, realized how dangerously close this was coming to Hendersonville. So Jim was home at this point because I called and asked him if he was on his way. And he was home. And when he got home, that's when shit got scary. It was coming through Goodlettsville and the Rivergate area, which is closer to my home.
Yeah.
And so I'm freaking out at this point. I'm looking at the TV, watching this thing just cross the freeway. And I started having a panic attack. Like, fuck, this is happening. This is coming right towards me. I grabbed Turk. I grabbed the lantern. I stuck them in the bathroom. We have a downstairs bathroom that's interior. That is our safe room. I grabbed my riding helmet. As nerdy as this is, I put on my riding helmet. Just because
I love that. I love that.
Jim Cantori told me to put a helmet on, so I put a helmet on. And I told Jim, I'm like, get Summer in here, get in here now, bring the blanket. This thing is coming right towards us. Well, as he was grabbing Summer, he cranked the TV all the way up, which is something else I've learned. Is if you're going to your safe spot and your TV's close, crank the volume all the way up. So that way you can still hear the news as long as it goes. She said it was entering Hendersonville. And I swear, right at that moment, power went out. And I heard, I heard that roaring sound just thundering down. I heard it. That tornado was 2,000 feet from my community.
Woo.
2,000 feet. If it would have came any closer to the railroad tracks that back up to our houses, it would have hit and we would have got damage. I mean, we had debris in our yard, like some roof shingles. We had some of the installation. There was a shoe. I mean, so it was close, and
Shoe.
it was
Like, what kind of shoe?
just like it was a pink boot of all things.
Wow, that's random.
But like it was just so crazy to think how close it was to our home.
I
But
bet.
my work now, my work did sustain damage. The tornado came right through my work, and it actually tried to pull the roof off. And it blew my office door open. Our windows were shattered. I mean, we
I
were
saw
on a
the damage. It was extensive. I went down.
yeah.
Just for the listeners, I went down after the tornado. I wasn't clearly down there, but I got to see the damage that her work had, and yeah, it was very extensive, compared to the other areas. So glad, no one was hurt and everybody was okay in that regards. I was going to ask you, so after the situation took place, were you still on an adrenaline high? Were you still like having an adrenaline rush? I mean, how did you feel? How was everything?
Well, I, I know I opened the front door and it was eerily quiet out, but you started hearing everyone opening their front door to see who had power and who didn't. No one had power, and the adrenaline went down. It was more so now I was pissed off because we didn't have power. Because it was just like, I was just more irritated with that, as weird as it sounds. But I'm glad my mom wasn't hit. Um, I went to my work the next day to go see my office, and my office was completely just destroyed. All my decorations were gone, pictures are thrown everywhere. Um, and driving through Hendersonville, I got some pictures, and there were some other places that got hit pretty hard as well. So I mean, it
What was the
definitely took.
area that probably got hit the worst in Hendersonville? Would you say?
Really, it's starting down, but down a road. Starting probably when you come into Hendersonville and you go on this back road by the lake. It starts at the lake, and it just follows this weird path up Main Street.
Now, did
Um,
Nashville get hit much?
did what now?
Did Nashville get hit much with it? Like, was there pretty extensive damage there? Like, what area in Nashville got hit?
So the only area in the Davidson County, Nashville area that got hit was the Madison area, kind of near Old Hickory Boulevard and Gallatin Pike area. A
Okay.
very You can see it like when you're driving on Gallatin Road and you go over a certain bridge area, you see the damage. And one of my girls actually lives near that area, and I was making sure she was okay, just because I knew she lived over there, but she was fine, thankfully.
That is, yeah, that's insane. Yeah, it's crazy that you went through that, and everybody doesn't get to experience that. I as a little kid, we had a few tornadoes that came through the Louisville area, or just close to Jefferson County back when I was a kid, and you had some fears and you had your anxiety rushing, but nothing that was serious or was like life altering when I was a kid. So but I've always enjoyed storms and different things, just like you with weather. I remember when I lived in Nashville, I was living at the Trails, and I was in my second floor apartment, and I just remember it being like it was like a Tuesday during the week, like just a regular day. I was off work and not a lot going on. This was like post college, and I just remember a storm came through, started fucking knocking off roofs and going absolutely ape shit through the area. And I just remember looking out the window and like running back and forth between the bathroom and the window, just oh shit, what's about to happen? Like, am I going to get through this? But it is a crazy feeling after the storm, because you're right. It always seems to be quiet. It always seems to be kind of eerie. It's kind of like
Well, all you
post-apocalyptic, like who survived kind of deal.
like all you could hear afterwards were just sirens. And Jim actually put his drone up at night to see what it looked like and where the areas were. And all you saw was black and then flashing of police car flashes and ambulance and fire, and that's it.
Wow. Yeah, it's usually that's all that's happening, and it's kind of just like at that point, what you kind of read is that it's just a challenge of that part of just cleaning up and figuring out a plan of how to get everything back to normal and adjusted, and it's a
Oh
process,
yeah.
especially when the
I
storms.
mean, I've been through tropical storms in Texas with the flooding, and that's rough. I've seen Houston flooded completely, but it never affected me. It was just crazy because how close the storm came. Like if it kept following the railroad tracks the way it was, I mean, I just know our place would have gotten some damage done.
Well, it seems like almost your life and just generally like you living down there in the Tennessee area, it's like storms have these random like crazy impactful storms hit like every decade. It seems like for you, it's like
Well, it's not even every decade. It's just because the the Earth is changing. It's climate change. It's part of global warming. It's
oh
all
yeah,
wrapped into that for
for sure.
sure. I mean, when I first moved down here, we didn't have severe storms like this in like January and February and December. I mean, this is not the first rodeo with these horrible storms coming through in
It's not
December
going to stop
anymore.
either. It's not going to stop, which is
No, it's just going to keep getting worse. I mean, tornado season, I could safely say, is year round at this point.
yeah, and that's something that like I said, back when I was a kid, and everybody thought you had your April May being the storm season going into spring, and but now yeah, it seems like it's year round, and it's definitely the temperature's so crazy. It's like 2 weeks ago it was so cold and you couldn't go outside and you're freezing. Now you can go outside and actually like wear a t-shirt some days, and it's just
Yeah, it's
it's
insane. We're having these dramatic temperature changes, and it's also causing people to get sick because everyone's allergies go out of whack. You
yeah.
know, it's ridiculous, and it never used to be like this, but it's definitely becoming more and more common.
Oh yeah, yeah. You're right. It's definitely changing. The weather, like when Christine and I were living down in Nashville back, shit, this is back almost over 10 years ago. There was a huge flood that happened in the area,
The
and
2010 May flood.
yep, 2010. Yep, and I was living down there at that point for about 2 years, and I was still in college, and I was living over in I was living in the Stewart's Ferry apartments, and I just so much shit happened with that. Had to get in a boat. Had shout out to
You
Paul.
came to my house.
Yeah, taking us in, and then I had to. I remember going back home for a little bit, and coming back. It was just such a crazy time, and what was wild as well. I was graduating from college. Like I graduated earlier because I did the year round, and when I ended up graduating, that all that had happened like a month before. And what's crazy to think back now is Nashville's changed so much from like a booming like people coming, growing. I mean, it's like New York City now. But in the past, it was like that flood did so much change. And
Hmm.
now the change that did is not even compared to the change now of Nashville.
Oh no, it's 100% different. Nashville is a completely different city. It's not the same Nashville. They've taken away so many iconic places, and it's just not the same. Like going downtown is a hassle. Like I fucking hate going downtown.
Yeah,
Like
and
I
that's what
can't stand it.
yeah. No, different people have different views on it. Like if I lived down there, I definitely could see myself more of like going out ever so often and doing things, and like I like doing that, but it is changed. It is different. I remember going to a Nashville Sounds game last year, and it was so crazy just even going to a minor league baseball game, because like in Louisville here, we go to bats games. It's like a 15-minute drive down. It's easy parking. You're in the game, and you get back in your car, go home. whole different ball game, and paying $20 to park. It's different. But yeah, it's definitely compared to when they went through the flood and just living down there. It's just funny. It's like I saw so much change in that last 2 remaining years of me living there, and then now you wouldn't even fucking know if a flood happened or not 10 years ago because of what all has changed downtown.
Oh yeah.
You and I here, and so back in October, we definitely have to talk about this and recap this. I ended up going to Florida with Christine and Jim, and we also went with Kelly and her partner at the time, and then Paula and her partner at the time. They're both single now, but we all went as a big group, and we went to the bar, and it was a blast. So we'll definitely have to we're gonna have to talk about this trip.
Oh yeah, that was definitely a good time for sure.
I came down, and so kind of how we did it was we had a big plan to get an Airbnb, and we got one. We got one that was on a street called Alabama Street, and it was 3 stories, and you had a huge 2-car garage that was U-shaped. You could fit literally horses and all the vehicles inside if you wanted. And then out back was a sand backyard with a boat dock. And then when you go upstairs, you had painted steps that went up, wooden steps, and you got to the main level, which had like a little common area, 2 patios on both sides, a bedroom,
Yeah.
living room, a dining room, a kitchen, a laundry room, a closet, a bathroom, a pantry. And then you go up the stairs again, you had another common area, 4 bedrooms, 3 baths, and then you had 2 patios on that side. So the place was fucking incredible. And
it was a beautiful home, and Jim and I got to stay in the master, and that bathroom was just phenomenal.
And what I loved was one of the rooms was empty, so I got 2 rooms, and I had patio openings, and I had my bathroom in the middle, and I could smoke weed if it was too cold, sit in my window and air it out, or I go sit out on the patio. And what was so nice was there was views from every direction. Like you could look back onto the canal, and then on the front you could look out, and there was pelicans everywhere. The brown pelican, super common in the area. I was super in love with that because I love the pelicans. And I had no clue and no preparation for it. And you always, when you're on a trip, you like to figure out a surprise or have something happen that you're not going to expect. And knowing that like the pelicans were fishing and eating every morning there in the canal, and getting to watch that is about
you were a little obsessed with the pelicans.
Oh, it was sick. Because I mean, you get to sit there and you smoke, relax, watch them dive, and nobody really fucking bothers you. It's great. And then it was good for the dogs. Summer loved the deck and the patio. Her and I had a lot of fun with the toys.
Oh yeah, that just told me and Jim we need to build a bigger house when we build one.
Yeah. Oh yeah. She loved it. She's a dog that she likes to play, and she was exploring, and it was really fun to see her in that environment, in that world. And then the other dogs did well as too. But yeah, we had a great time. And what was wild when we were going down, Paula and her boyfriend at the time, Toby, they were bringing a boat down, and the boat thing fucking locked up. And if they would,
the boat trailer fucked up or something.
Yeah, the trailer hitch or something with the wheel. If they would have kept going, they would have flipped, probably died, and that would have ruined everything. So it's at a case where we had to stop in some weird Coleman, Alabama town, and I just remember
you had a moment. You had a moment with Ray at that place.
Oh yeah, and I'm holding Ray the dachshund, and I'm sitting there for a little bit just trying to feel out the situation, and they end up calling a guy on the hill, and I think his name was actually Ray on the hill, and they ended up getting him down after a couple hours, so they didn't make it to town. But the highlight of the trip, it's literally one of the 10 best nights of my entire life, and it's the best Halloween of my entire life. I dressed up like Ronald McDonald this year, and it was the most fun thing and most crazy idea I've ever done. It was bucket list.
He was Ronald McDonald, and Jim was the Hamburglar.
We were the perfect duo. So how it kind of worked, to tell the listeners, I always had this dream and idea to be Ronald McDonald, and I wanted to like pass out burgers, and I wanted to um, just relish the moment of being the Ron, being famous Ron McDonald. So I got the costume from England. So I spent over $150, got shipped to me from England. It was authentic as shit. It was like the legit thing. Jim ended up getting his hamburger costume off Amazon. He got all the stuff. And when we put on the attire, it was perfect. Like I did my makeup. We were in the mode. So we did a little photo shoot. Shout out to Christine for doing the photos. And we did a photo shoot. Well, when we got to the bar, it was on. We were just like, okay, a couple people want to take pictures with us. This is cool. It turned out to be 50 plus people want to do pictures with me and Jim. Everywhere we go,
yeah.
Can I get a picture? Hey, can I get a picture?
Yep.
Hey, Ronald. Hey. So then this black guy, he pulls his arm out and he's cool as shit. And he just says, look at my arm. And I look down and it's a huge McDonald's logo. And he's like, hey, I want to let you know that McDonald's was my first job and I worked there for 7 years. And that's how much it means to me. And we were like, that's cool. So he ends up turning out to be, his name was Darren. And he ended up taking me into the bar, the sandbar. And we go in there and he signs me up for the contest with my buddy Jim. And we ended up being in the costume contest. Well, it turns out to be this huge thing. What I was telling Jim, it was crazy how many middle-aged women were just obsessed with Ron McDonald. I'm like, this is wild. But we're walking around doing our pictures, meeting people. We met a couple cool people by the pool table that let us in. And Christine, she was Happy Gilmore. So we're in our mode. Like we're just having a good time. Christine's got her fucking got her golf club.
I bought a Happy Gilmore jersey off of Amazon. And I brought a golf club down.
Yeah, she's got the golf club and she's walking around and it is just, it's fun as shit. And so
I was high as fuck though.
Oh,
hold on. I was so high at this point, like nothing bothered me. Normally my social anxiety at that point would have been off the roof, but I was so high. I was just drinking my vodka and sodas. I literally was in my own little world. Like Eric and Jim are gone doing their thing. I'm kind of babysitting Kelly because she's so drunk.
Yeah,
she kept asking me, am I drunk? And I'm like, honey, you are wasted.
She's trying to set up a threesome with this big booby fucking pirate girl. And she just keeps trying to set up a threesome and her boyfriend's trying to hold her back. Kelly can barely stand up, don't even realize that they're being called on stage. It was hilarious. So Christine, I told Christine already, I was like, take photos. Like I'm all into it. I'm in fucking game mode. So next thing you know, me and Jim are towards the front of the bar. We did our rounds. We did all the photo with the chicks. And out of nowhere, we get up to the front and they're like, all right, we're going to start calling people up. Well, we start noticing once they're calling people up that some people are acting. Like people are putting on an act to impress them.
Oh my God. No, so, didn't Jim chug a beer?
Yeah. So what happened was Jim looks at me and he's like, what are we going to fucking do? And I was like, well, you're the hamburger. Like you got to steal some. So he's like, go up there with your beer and I'll steal it and chug it. So I go up on stage and Jim comes by, steals the beer, chugs it. And next thing you know, the crowd goes wild. Excuse me. And I don't know where it's absolutely like insanity. Well, me and Jim are laughing our asses off and we get off the stage. And of course, like everybody that's in the costume contest together is kind of mingling towards the stage and like talking like, hey, you think you're going to get picked? And everybody's kind of, the anticipation is like really high because this isn't like a 20-person costume contest. This is like 50 plus people in this costume contest. So they finally end up calling up the final 6 and they end up doing 6 people. They had 3 on stage and 3 down on the ground. And me and Jim were one of them. Well, what was hilarious is like you had people yelling shit from the crowd and yelling things out loud. And we're up there and there's a dude dressed like Lil Debbie and
Oh, that was awesome though.
yeah, it was good. He's handing out cream pies, and he was a funny dude. So everybody kind of the six that were up there were really taking their act seriously. So at first we were like, me and Jim were looking at each other. We're like, hey, dude, I think we got a chance. Well, that we end up winning third place in the costume contest. Second went to the Barfly, who was a local that worked there, which I think that kind of tended to him winning second. And then first was Little Debbie, which Little Debbie, we pretty much we formed an alliance with a lot of the costume people where we're rooting for different people. So shout out to Little Debbie winning, but we won third, and we're literally just kind of hanging out by the pool tables. And what's hilarious is I'll never forget it. Christine just looks at me and Jim, and she's like, "Hey, now that this is over, I want a fucking burger from McDonald's." And I was like,
No. I wanted my fucking QPC.
"Yeah, you wanted a quarter pounder from McDonald's." And so I'm like, "Yes, let's go." Like that's what I wanted to do because we didn't get to do the photo shoot at McDonald's yet, and I was already like planning. Okay, fuck it, I'll go back Halloween. Like I'm more on a high right now because of the costume contest. Well, when we get in the vehicle and we drive, me, you, Jim, Kelly, and her boyfriend, we get all the way to McDonald's. And when I get out, I'm telling you, it was fucking lit. The drive-through is already starting. Ronald, what's up? I'm waving. I'm getting excited. Here comes me and Jim walking in, and I'll never forget it. I walk into the place. There's a couple rocking at the front counter, and there's like the self-checkout kiosk behind them. And they turn to me slowly, and they're like, "What the fuck?" And I'm like, "Yeah, I eat here too, motherfuckers." Well, they lose it. So I go up to the self-checkout thing. I ring myself out. You and Jim come in, and I'm like, oh shit. Well, I turn around as I put in my order. The whole staff just stops working. They're smiling. The manager's losing it. I go do photos with them. I get behind the counter. Jim's snapping photos of me behind the counter.
Oh, hey, you made those kids' day.
Oh, I made their day. And what was great, I'll never forget, this girl was like, "This is the most exciting thing to happen on ever." And I was like, hey, I'm loving it. And I'm just using all the puns.
But
and
they're doing all of this. I had to pee. I'm in the bathroom. They did all this shit. I come out of there. I am so fucking high. Like, I don't even know what's going on at this point. I just wanted my damn burger.
I'm also at that time, dude. I'm in the play place. Jim's taking photos, and in their play place, since it's right next to the golf, they got scuba divers hanging from the ceiling and shit, and underwater computers. And you're just like, "Where's my food? Where's my Sprite?"
I wanted my fucking burger and fries.
So here's the best part. As all this is going on, I'm having the time of my life. I've spent now like 30 minutes at McDonald's. I don't even give a fuck my food's cold. I'll eat it in the car. I come out, me and Jim laughing. We're telling the staff goodbye. Everybody's happy. Kelly and her boyfriend are out of the vehicle drunk, trying to get Kelly back in the car.
Oh, God.
I'm like, this is the first time meeting her. And I'm like, this girl's a shit show. This is hilarious. So we finally get her in the car. And we get him in the car and we ride back. And I remember we get to the house and we're just like all on a high, laughing, having fun. And then here comes Paula and Toby that just had
they're finally there.
They're finally there. And we're telling them what's going on. And I'm dressed like Ronald. Well, after everything's done and over, I finally sit and take a big deep breath. And I'm like, that was fucking dope. And I go do a shower, and as I'm showering, it looks like I've murdered somebody. There is paint and makeup all over the
everywhere.
Tub. It's stained. I'm having to take rubbing alcohol. I got baby oil. I'm rubbing, cleaning. After about 4 to 5 days, I think around Thursday, we left on Saturday. I think it took me probably till Thursday to actually get it all cleaned off out of the tub, but it was wild. So, but that was a great Halloween. And then was so a few places that we checked out down there I want to definitely talk about, and you'll know them more just because you go down there more. Where was the place we got where I got that banana mocha, the Funky Monkey?
You never got it.
No, the coffee at the end, the last day.
Oh, the coffee.
Yeah,
Oh,
we did
that
get
was
it.
JJ Chago's.
Yeah,
So that's a little coffee bar. They have a great Cuban breakfast sandwich, and they have some really good coffee and some good breakfast foods. Their original location was really cool. It was in this little blue hut,
now
but
they're moving towards the zoo.
they're
Now they're
moving
moving by the zoo.
they're moving by the Gulf Free Zoo, so it's a bigger location for them.
And they're so they had banana coffee. I'm a banana like lover of all sorts. I literally actually before we recorded this podcast was on Chiquita Banana's website doing a puzzle to try to win a watch, a banana watch. But that's another thing
Jesus
that happened
Christ.
last season. I'm officially in the International Banana Club. Got entered into that. It's a very small member count. Only like I think there's only maybe 1,000 to 10,000 people in it. But I am part of the International Banana Club, which is headquartered in California. So pretty proud of that. But yes, I love everything banana flavored. Banana Boat from Smoothie King's actually my favorite smoothie. But no, it was to have banana coffee, like banana base. I had never had that. So it was mind blowing, especially to have it on the last day and coming off the high of a trip. It was a good little treat to have that morning. Another place I want to shout out down there that lived up to the hype, were so fucking nice to me, and I was so fucking hyped about it. But it was the Navarre Bakery and Creamery.
Oh yeah, the donuts.
Yeah, I've been wanting their donuts so fucking bad. They're off on the mainland. Well, I go there with Kelly's ex, and we end up getting the donuts, and the donuts were incredible. And then while I was there, they have a creamery. They do their own ice cream. Well, I got a couple pints of their ice cream, and all that stuff lasted throughout the week. But they treated me great. I had watched reviews, and like I used to go down to Pensacola and the bar all the time with my ex, and like I would go down there and visit. And I've been down there with Christine Jim in the past, but this was a place that I was like, I have to try. I know the reviews are going to live up to the hype. They look legit. They look official. And so at the end of the day, I was really excited to finally be able to try it. And yeah, it lived up to the hype. And that's something that always makes you happy when something lives up to the hype. And then we got we did it for your mom's birthday. We got to go to Flounders.
Flounders is always a top spot to hit. Food's
Yeah.
delicious. Their booze is awesome.
Oh, it was incredible. And the shrimp basket was, I mean, it was unbelievable. And just everything that we did was top notch. I just think the whole trip went very smooth, and looking forward to trying to go down there this year.
The only downside was that was the coldest I've ever had it be in October when I went.
Oh, it
Normally
was
it's
cold
still,
some days. It was cold some days, yeah.
but that's just wild to me because normally, when I go in October, it's pretty warm. Like it's still in the 80s and the 70s, which is great. But what the weather was like was almost like when I went in December. It was wild. Like that literally was the coldest Florida trip I've ever had.
That's why, like at times, I'd sit there and like chill, like they're kind of my balcony, but have the screen open. And I'll say this, like it was a blast no matter what the weather was like. But it was also nice too. Sometimes I have the doors open and that breeze come in. But yeah, there was a couple days where you're like, "Woo, this is chilly."
Yeah.
But no, it was fun, and it's always good to get away and have an escape and just.
Well, yeah, we already have our summer trip booked. It's done and paid, done.
Are you excited?
Oh God, yeah. Going to the same place we always go in the summertime.
Yeah, it's always good to look forward to that, and
Well,
it's
we gotta go this year
oh yeah,
again.
oh for sure.
And now I have another place we could possibly stay at maybe.
Well, I'm telling you, the places down there, they all hit, and they're all nice, and
Absolutely.
down there you really can't find a bad spot.
No.
And I when I was doing some research after the trip, found some other cool stuff that was like in Fort Walton and other places. So there's just so much to do and see, and there's so much that is expanding down there that it's just becoming such a it's a secret, but such a cool place to still visit, and more. I think people are discovering that. We also went to the sea turtle.
Sanctuary.
Yeah, in the sanctuary place, the conservation center, and that place was awesome. Sweet Pea, the sea turtle there, and it's just so cool to be up close and personal with that sea turtle. That was a place I've always wanted to go. And
Well, they're expanding it now, so it's going to be bigger next time you go.
oh, bigger, and then they also got a vehicle now, and they've gotten some more structural stuff. Like when the storm hit down there, they were able to have a lot of donations and give backs, and they were at the time they were out of them, but they started doing adoptions again, and so they're
Yep.
kind of ways to give back money to the place. And so the sea turtles are super important for that area and just important in general. But seeing Sweet Pea and just having a place like that is important anywhere you go when they're giving back to an animal or a creature. Like I'm actually a place here in Kentucky. It's in Slade, Kentucky. I have a relationship with them due to the past helping them connect with the Louisville Palace when I used to work for the Leo. But the reptile zoo, it's in Slade, Kentucky, about 2 hours from Louisville, and they're a place similar to the sea turtle place that just
Do they have alligators?
they focus on anything reptile,
Or do
anything.
they have an alligator there?
Oh, I'm not sure. I'm not.
Oh.
I don't know the rotation. That's one I haven't been. They just have. I know that they do have a shitload of snakes, and we were able to get snakes. There was a Harry Potter event at the Louisville Palace, and the Palace was my client, and they're like, "Hey, we need snakes for this Harry Potter event." So I got them in touch, and they end up forming a relationship, and so I was able to get some snakes from the reptile zoo down there. So but yeah, no, alligators are dope. And I actually, you bringing that up, I used to have a Cayman crocodile, different than an alligator, but I had a Cayman crocodile in
Yeah.
elementary school. And I had just recently connected with somebody from elementary school this past couple months, and they're always arguing with me about, oh, I don't remember the Cayman. Yes, we had a Cayman, Fernford Elementary. It was fucking dope. I will say this, do not remember the name, but the Cayman lives on, and I think I'm the only elementary kid that didn't have a waiver signed to play with the Cayman, but it happened. It happened. So
I just like alligators in general. I love them. I think they're, I don't know, something about alligators. I just really like them.
well, it's also really cool to be close to a dinosaur. I mean, not being around dinosaurs in present day, to have something that is a dinosaur and something so similar, and just to see the way they act and perform, it's incredible. I did not know this in Egypt back in the Pharaoh Egyptian times, Cleopatra, all that stuff. They worship the Nile crocodile, which is the most dangerous crocodile on the
Oh
planet.
yeah.
And the
Yeah.
Nile River was huge, and they would sail across it, bathe in it, swim in it, fish in it. Well, the thing about the Nile crocodile, I didn't realize they mummified those. So there's actually a crocodile museum in Egypt where there's like this huge room that's probably like a quarter mile long, and it's just a bunch of fossilized crocodiles and like mummified
Oh, that's
laid
dope.
out, and that's just fucking just it's absolutely just bonkers to think that's still around, and it's crazy you can preserve something that long by just mummifying it. But yeah, I had to bring that one up. I thought that is
Yeah.
absolutely insane. So I have to get an update from you, which we do on every episode when we have you on. How are the horses?
Three. They're being quite the asshole right now, but other than that, they're fine.
Due to the
We've
fence
had,
issues.
yeah, we have a long story short is we have, we're not rich people. We don't have the fanciest farm, but we make the best of what we do. So we have an electric tape fence in our back pasture. And then they keep just getting through it, and we electrify it, it goes off, and it's just been an issue. And it's been every other weekend working on something with the fence, working on something with the fence. But making the best of what you have and what you can do.
Yeah, no, I understand, and you all are trying to have your horses and make a good living for both of y'all and make it right. And I totally understand it can be a situation. And last time I was down there, besides the fence, we were discussing Steve-O is moving to the area.
Yeah, Steve-O lives somewhere in the area or vicinity that where my mom is at. And it's been something that, I found out. And so every time I go to Tractor Supply in Portland, I'm hoping he's there or something.
Yeah, that'd be awesome. I hope it happens when I'm down there, and then we both run into Steve-O because that would be super fucking cool. But yeah, shout out to Steve-O. Steve-O's doing some big things for the animals. He is the guy
Yeah.
from Jackass, but he is hilarious and definitely a legend. So it's cool to see that he's in the area. Hopefully, we can all connect with him. And he
Hell
does his
yeah.
own podcasts and stuff like that. But no,
Steve
but
Wild Ride with Steve-O. It's
yeah,
pretty
yeah,
good. It's
yeah,
a
he's
good
in a
podcast.
van. Yeah, like in a van or like something like
Yeah.
just chilling a sprinter van. So pretty cool that he does that. But yeah, he's moved to the area. But yeah, overall, I'm really glad that things are going good for you, and it's always great having you on the show. People always ask about Horse Girl, and you've been on since season one. So thanks for being on each season. I thank you for that. But Season 5, Episode 1 is officially in the books. I want to thank everybody for listening, tuning in, and downloading. Again, thank you for your patience of waiting for my long break. Life's great, super blessed. Things are good. I'm glad to be back, and I'm excited to see what Season 5 does. Christine, before we sign off, you know the drill. Tell them how they can connect with you.
Mostly just on Instagram is where I'm most active, but it's Washed Up Equestrian on
Yeah,
Instagram.
yeah, look up Washed Up Equestrian. Equestrian is a horse word. If anybody's like, what's equestrian? So that has to do with horses. But yes, look her up. Shout out to her. Ask her any questions about horses, about Navarre, about tornadoes. She's a huge weather person. So she loves Jim Cantori and weather. So anything you want to ask her, she's always happy to answer. But everybody that's tuning in and listening, you can reach out to me at Vibing with Sleazy, the podcast on Facebook, Instagram, and vibingwithsleazy.com, the website. The website is updated. I'm going to keep updating it more, working with AJ Thomas on that. So hopefully after this season, we'll get the other seasons up. We've already got, I believe, all 4 up. So the website's looking good, and I'm excited to have that. And the shirts are sold out, but I'll have more of those in the future. And really, happy and thankful for everybody that's been supporting over these past couple of years. This show's been a lot of fun, and I'm glad to be back. So, season 5, episode 1, Christeen Hernandez. Thank you again, Christine, and we are out. Peace.
Bye.